Hi guys, I just wanted to run you through something a little bit different this week, rather than the standard WOD videos. What I'd like to do for instead is what's going to come up over the next couple of weeks, and I didn't want to chuck too much information at you this week. I just want you to try and soak all this information in the best you can. So as you're probably aware, this week we've done a lot of testing our Warren Maxes. The reason for that is because starting from next week, we'll begin a 12-week strength cycle. So it is important that by the start of next week, you should have an up-to-date idea of what your maxes are for all your main lifts. Okay, so you may have done them in the past before, and you kind of got a good idea of them. But at least this week, we allow you a good chance to make sure everything is there, and you will have a good base to work from to get your percentages off. Okay. So that being said, the structure over the next couple of weeks isn't going to be radically much different. It just means things are going to be a little bit more rigid. So the layout is going to be similar to what you've done this week, where you will have your 5 main lifts. We will press twice, we will squat twice, we'll deadlift once. We'll keep our weekend sessions a bit more like conditioning, more aerobic based workouts anyway, as they've always been, with a good chance on that weekend to catch up with anything you may have missed from the week's programming. So going forward from there then, the main focus of this is obviously to get stronger, and to effectively have a bigger max when we retest in kind of like 30 weeks time. That being said, we're not looking to abandon our gymnastics or our conditioning or anything like that. We are still CrossFitters. We still want to maintain that kind of strong athletic base. We don't want to become a bunch of like bloated strongmen and powerlifters who get wheezy when they walk up a flight of stairs. It's not what we're about. All right, so we still going to be doing competitions throughout the summer and stuff. So it's important that we keep that kind of the bottom base of our pyramid nice and wide. So our pyramid as a whole, fitness pyramid, would be nice and tall. Okay, so that being said, then the program from week to week will vary. In terms of the days themselves, the same week 1 will have the same rep scheme for all the lifts. Week 2 will have a different rep scheme, but it'll be all the same throughout the week, and so on and so forth. Okay, and throughout the different phases or different blocks of this program, there will be kind of like a different emphasis or a different stimulus. Okay, and it will make sense when I get into it in a sec. On top of that, I will be giving you guys some extra accessory work to add in. The main sessions, like I said, won't be much different to what you're doing at the minute. So you do your main lift, your strength work, and then you're going to do some conditioning. Once the class is over, then it will give you a chance then in the open gym session to work through your accessory work, which will either kind of supplement the main lift which you've done and the muscle groups you've just used, or it may be something that may balance out the opposing muscle groups of what you've just done. So this is kind of thing we're talking about is like good mornings, remaining deadlifts, glute ham raises, bent over row, these kind of movements, which are kind of big compound movements, but they effectively what they do is minimize your weaknesses. Because when you get into strength training, sooner or later, you get to certain sticking points or plateaus, mainly because you will have these weaknesses. If you do this accessory work on top, it should minimize the chances of getting to those sticking points or those plateaus. So it is good to add in. It's not necessarily essential. You will still get stronger with the kind of base programming. But if you do have the time and the energy, it is always an added benefit. Okay, and it will allow you to keep a lot of momentum going into the kind of later stages of this program. So the basic format in terms of it is be broken down into kind of like 3 blocks from about 3 to 4 weeks on each block. The first week is mainly focusing on hypertrophy. For people who are not aware, this is putting on muscle mass. Okay, so you'll typically see higher volume and less weight. These shouldn't be like grindy, horrible 10 or 20 rep maxes. It should be quite challenging, bigger sets, but like a little more in a tank. It's kind of a good opportunity for these first 3 weeks to improve your technique, to kind of build that muscle mass, and to kind of get a better better awareness of your body positions, and to kind of get structurally stronger and build that kind of that thickness in your body before you start getting to the heavy weights and heavy percentages. All right. So that'll literally be the first 3 weeks of the program will be this like hypertrophy phase or like kind of muscle mass phase, where you're typically working from 60 to 70%. The way I've kind of done it is it's going to be like volumized. So we'll start with like say 3 sets of 10. And as we go up, the sets will get more, the reps will come down slightly, but the overall volume will increase. So the volume will increase from week to week. However, we will be adding a small amount of weight as well. So not only will the volume be going up and we kind of have a chance to build into volume, but it means we'll also have increasingly heavier weeks as we go on. So even with that being said, even if you are really struggling, you're having a shit week, whatever at work, and you're absolutely battered and you don't feel like you can go any heavier, even if you did the rep scheme as it's written, even at the same weight, you've done more volume on it, so you will become stronger. If you manage to add the weight and the volume, then you will get more benefit out of that as well. Okay, but like I said, week by week, it's best to kind of, as an athlete point of view, just focus on the week that's given to you, and have a bit of a rough idea of the rough picture. The big picture is what I'm trying to run you through now. Okay, and I'll increase through like that for the first 3 weeks. So again, bigger volume, less weight. I don't want you to be absolutely like ball bustingly hard reps. It's not, like I said, it's not 10 or 20 max, anything like that. So just try and check your ego a little bit. Get the percentages starting off 60-65%. The lower body stuff will be more like 5 kilo jumps, and the upper body stuff will be more like 2.5 kilo jumps. But there will be a little bit of room to moving around. Just don't put full send on yet. Like I said, trust me on this. There will be plenty of time for that coming up. If you are a little bit more sensible now, it will actually allow you more momentum to get further in the heavier phases of this program. Okay, so that'll be the first 3 weeks, and then we'll move into our like strength, the main sort of strength phase, strength block. So this is common rep schemes and sort of percentage area we tend to work in. It's like 70 to 85%, working anything from like 3 to 6 reps, that kind of sort of range. Like I said, we do spend a good bit of time in there, so especially if you've been doing CrossFit for a while, especially at CrossFit. Like I said, with this, the volume is come down a little bit, but the weight has come up again. So it's kind of working that stimulus now. You should be kind of tougher, maybe a little bit more grindy rep, but again, it shouldn't be absolutely full send yet. What we will put in these sets as well is going to be, the last set is going to be a plus set. So some people may have done these before. The idea of a plus set is once you've done your working sets, if you have anything left in the tank, you will just adding some extra reps on the last set. So if it was 5 times 5, you get to your final set, you do your 5, and you feel like I've got 2 or 3 more in the tank, and then you'll be able to effectively hit that out in that last set. And just add another way of kind of accumulating a little more volume, and not just adding weight each week, but actually trying to get more reps each week. Gives you another kind of another way of building strength, and gives you another dimension to getting stronger. Okay, so that'll be a 4-week block, 4-week phase, and again, week by week, weeks, like week 5, for example, week 4, whatever. All the main lifts will have the same rep scheme to it, so that'll be kind of very structured, and then the next week the rep scheme will change, and it will basically carry on like that. Okay, so you pretty much have a good idea of what you're doing from Monday through. We go for a bit of a deload, so by giving us a bit of a deload week, it will allow us to kind of take the brakes off a little bit, allow our nervous system to recover, which is the big one, especially when we're lifting heavy, as well as allow our muscles and that to recover. So we'll bring the volume down, bring the intensity down, and again, this will give us more momentum then to get into our heavy weights in a second. In the next week. So moving into our final phase, or kind of the big part of the program we're trying to get to, the ultimate goal, is we get into this kind of peak or this maximum strength sort of stimulus. So these will be like a 3-week phase to finish all off. And these will focus again in that kind of end range percentages, 85% and above, almost up to your maxes. Stuff like singles and doubles and triples, that kind of thing, stuff where it is very heavy, kind of a lot tougher, very harder in your nervous system, but like I said, the volume is a lot lower. So again, for those who have done like kind of heavy doubles or triples or singles, whatever before, it's kind of that same sensation. So we won't be doing lots and lots of reps at it. We'll be focused instead of moving as well as we can with these kind of heavy percentages, and get our body used to lifting at those maximum weights for when we retest. Yeah, and again, working through, once we go through those 3 weeks, week 9, 10, 11, we will go into a deload again. Again, this because our nervous system will take a hammering at this point. So then we can kind of take a step back again, allow us more momentum, and then going into our retest week, we'll test everything out. And again, it gives us a good chance of, even if we are maybe like a couple kilos, 1 or 2 kilos heavier at a lift, by doing this 12 weeks, you should see an improvement in your muscle mass and technique as well. So even though the ultimate goal is to build a maxes, you should see improvements in other fields of the kind of strength game. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Even though that is our goal at the end of it, by doing this program, it will give you a good chance to kind of build that muscle mass, to improve your technique, and to get a lot more out of it than just purely maxing out your heavy single. All right. Like I said before, there will be accessory work alongside this. This is again naturally progressive in nature as well. We will start off high volume, low weight. Again, it might even feel like kind of like pump weights won't feel particularly super challenging, but as we progress through, the reps will start coming down, the weights will start coming up, and stuff will get a lot more challenging as we progress through the program. This whole program, again, you're gonna get more benefit if you manage to commit to 5 days a week. If you do that, you're gonna see more benefit. If you don't do that many days, maybe you'll do like once or twice a week, or maybe you're dropping or something like that. Even though you're not following the program to a T, and you're not doing all 5 days, if you do certain lifts one week and then certain lifts the other week, you're still going to be lifting heavy. You're still going to be challenging yourself. You're still going to see the benefits of strength training. You're just not going to get as much benefit as someone who is literally following it down to a T, literally all the way through. Just bear that in mind. So it's not the end of the world if you think you can only train once, twice a week, you won't get the full benefit of the program. It's not like, oh, I'm going to cancel my membership and that's going to be it. No, it's not the point. You're still going to get the same benefit. The structure is going to be very similar to that of a CrossFit session. How we've done it so far, it just allows people, if you are coming, again, a couple times a week, to really allow like a strong build up into your max weights and then get stronger that way. But yeah, other than that, like I said, don't feel like, again, it is good to focus on it, and strength will be our kind of primary goal for the next sort of 12, 13 weeks. That gymnastics or conditioning or anything that's going to be forgot about, weightlifting. I know a lot of people like their Olympic weightlifting. We'll still be we'll still be running the weightlifting classes, so it'll give you a chance to work on your technique for that. You'll still be able to keep that like concurrently going as we go through the strength phase. It just means we won't be like doing a lot more maxing out and stuff like weightlifting. It means it will kind of be a bit more of an accessory in terms of like chucked in the conditioning aspects. You may see like a few heavy cleans or whatever in the Metcon, but it's going to be a bit more beneficial us using that than just treating our Olympic lifts as a main lift. But like I said, you do have the opportunity to do that within the weightlifting classes. Gymnastics, same thing, and conditioning, you're all going to do that in Metcon. We're still doing Metcons, so day by day structure is not too different. You just see the main difference from week by week, and then from kind of block by block, where it will be the same rep scheme from day to day. Next week it'll be slightly different, but the same from day to day, and so on and so forth. Going from there, then I'll run the standard WOD videos from next week as well. So get your chance to still talk you through the conditioning and that kind of stuff, and run you through the accessory work on top of that. It's very important with any sort of periodized program like we're trying to run here, is to please record your data. There is a massive benefit of doing it, again, because as you'll see with the program that comes out, you're literally increasing either the volume or the weight or something like that from week by week. Okay, so if you have that data, then it shows you what you need to do and where you need to go with it. If you don't record your scores, you won't know any better. You don't know if you're getting stronger, you don't know if you're getting weaker, you don't know if it's working for you or not. So in the big picture, you're not really getting a lot out of it. Okay, so it doesn't even need to be public or modified. You can literally put it as private so no one can see it, and that way at least you can see it and you can use that as a reference or a record. And like I said, it's a lot of people miss out on that kind of thing. If you have that, it gives you that information to run off, and it'll allow you to progress and see where you're going and see where you can add stuff and take it away and then adapt the program as you need to. But if you don't record your data, it's going to be a lot harder for you to make that progress and to get that momentum. All right. But going from there, then, guys, if you do have any questions with it, obviously feel free to ask me when you see me coaching when we're doing our max this week or whatever, and got 5 minutes, just feel free to fire away. I'll try my best to get round, and if obviously a few people are interested, I could put it on the community page and you can have a bit of discussion, like a Q&A. But other than that, obviously day by day, all the coaches should be clued up. It's not too technical. It's nothing too crazy. Again, sometimes going simple is the most effective way of doing it. Just literally with what you got, I'll try and keep you as much informed as possible without throwing too much information at you week by week. But it should be a good chance for us to really dial in on something in particular. And like I said, if this goes well, it gives us the opportunity to kind of work other things, maybe online ones like gymnastics or Olympic weightlifting and that kind of thing. So like I said, record your data. Feel free to fire away any questions you may have. Again, the more the better. Allow us to then make sure everyone's on the same page before we begin this, and then we can obviously get stuck in and get massive benefit out of this. And when it comes to like 13 weeks time, we should all feel stronger and more robust and resilient, and then it'll allow us again to be more athletic and get more out of that when it comes to just everyday life or competitions. Okay, but yeah, cheers for listening, guys. Any comments or anything, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.